Get ready and face the reality.
All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. While power generation in Nigeria faces several challenges, appropriate metering remains a huge problem for effective distribution. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has warned electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, not to forcefully migrate customers with faulty meters to the estimated billing system. The Commission has also ordered the DISCOs to replace the obsolete prepaid meters for their customers free of charge. Now, this mandate was outlined in a statement released by the regulatory body, which highlighted that according to the Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry Act, it is the responsibility of DISCOs to replace faulty and outdated prepaid meters for their customers. Emeka, first of all, whose duty is it to pay and replace faulty meters? Is it the consumer or the DISCOs?
It should be that of the DISCOs.
The DISCOs.
It should be that of the DISCOs because it's their product.
Then why are we having it the other way around?
No, the Commission, NERC, has issued
a
counter notice saying that, contrary, to its, its, I think, to its earlier order, I think, it has instructed customers to apply and pay for the replacement of faulty and obsolete meters within their franchise area. It's aware that, some distribution companies have instructed customers to apply and pay. Now, NERC says this order clearly says that no customer with a meter should be forcefully migrated to estimated billing. You see, this is something that DISCOs have been doing. I have also been a victim.
That's what I'm saying.
I had, unfortunately, I lost one property to fire. And what they did was to migrate dwellers of the building to estimated billing. Why? Did I burn the house? So the thing is this, what NERC is trying to do is to restore order. And I hope that NERC will follow up on this matter to the letter. And make sure that because the cost of the customers ought to have the freedom, the latitude to choose which one. And how much actually do these prepaid meters cost?
They've actually increased it, I think, by 28%.
That is what I'm saying. Why should they do? The millions of the sad thing in Nigeria is that the number of people who want to buy something, the higher the cost. Like at Christmas now, you will see where a lot of people are traveling, you will see that transport fares will go up. It's one of the odd things about Nigeria. You have millions of Nigerians that are already customers, and you have potential millions that you can migrate, and that should make the price to come down. But in Nigeria, you will see that the prices have been going up.
They say the higher the demand.
The higher the demand, should that make the cost go higher? That should actually be a business for those supplying the meters. By the way, I thought some companies were licensed to produce the meters in Nigeria. We are saying there are no jobs. We have a huge youth population unemployed. And this is a golden opportunity to produce meters in Nigeria, to employ youths, to give youths jobs. Why is it that we throw away opportunities whereby low-hanging fruits that we can use to solve some of our economic problems? I don't understand. What is the technology? What's the complex technology in producing a smart meter? What is it? What is in it? High school students in China are producing phones and all those accessories. And then it's difficult for Nigeria to just produce a smart meter. We need to check all these things.
Now, the NERC, which is the regulatory body, had to come up with a counter, that this is wrong. The DISCOs are supposed to... Let's talk sanctions now. Should there be sanctions meted out to this, DISCOs?
I think that's the message Emeka is trying to push, which is the fact that let it not be a mere statement, let it not be a media release. There must be a sanction. But before I talk about that, I like the fact that he was able to contextualize it and even give practical example about himself. We should look at that statement. There is a caveat that for any of this prepaid meter that was not destroyed or spoiled by the customer,
yes,
they should replace them because they are the one upgrading the software. So if you're upgrading the software, initially, they were going to say that this is not good enough. Let us have another one.
Yes.
For me, I feel this is pure, pardon my language, this is pure robbery on the part of against the customer.
The customer.
Because I see a situation where another third party is producing this prepaid meter and they want to phase out one and create another business for this new set. And the only way they want to do it is to find a way of discrediting this. I've forgotten the name of that maker.
The company actually came to say there's nothing
exactly. If they had not screamed, I'm telling you, Nigerians would have been made to buy a new set of meters when nothing is wrong with this particular one. So if you want to upgrade the software, it is your business. Don't make Nigerians pay all this. And let's also sound this warning.
Okay.
You're adding our own voice to what NERC is saying. Yes. Don't find a way of taking this money from Nigerians, but also upgrading the bill. So the tariff.
We've been hearing of.
So the tariff should not. They should not, play a funny game.
Talking about tariff, we've been hearing of some discos forcing some people from band B to band A, band C to band A.
So that's why we're saying, talking about sanctions, NERC, and thank God for FCCPC, who also raised alarm to say that, hey, customers must be protected.
Consumer protection.
Their rights must be protected. That's when you see NERC coming up. I think it's a slap on NERC for them to even take this kind of decision at the expense of customers. So this is against that section they quoted, that it is their job to upgrade this meter and not make people to buy new set of meters. Nothing is wrong with this meter. I wouldn't say I was a victim. I changed my meter recently because one of the buttons was already hard. Okay. And so they can tell me that, okay, it's my fault. Maybe I exposed it to my little children at home. But I had to buy another one. But in this case, if it has to do with the upgrade of software, it is criminal. NERC should not just sanction them. They should find a way of suspending their license.
Oh, suspending their license? That's really harsh.
Yes,
do you think it's harsh, though?
It's not.
But let's talk
because the Nigerians, ripping off Nigerians is even harsher.
That's true.
Yeah, I understand. But let's talk about the uninformed customer that they've migrated to estimated billing. What happens to them?
Like myself,
for the sake of justice, would they be refunded or what?
They should be refunded. You see, for the sake of justice, like you said, the NERC should, it's good that they've supplied phone numbers for people to send in complaints. Actually, there are a lot of things that these discos are doing that they deserve sanctions. As a matter of fact, the licenses of maybe almost all of them should be withdrawn. Yes, because I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Do you know many customers, they buy their they buy their own transformers, they buy poles, they buy cables. They saw this. They even pay the discos, officials of these discos, to install these things. What do you call that? That's injustice.
I just mean that you're not supposed to pay.
You're not supposed to pay, but they will tell you that there's no transformer. They will tell you they don't have this. There's one of them I've written a letter to. It's more than 3 to 4 months now. That look at these poles. These poles are about to collapse. They are wooden poles. They're about to collapse. Come and replace the poles. Did it not affect my area? When the supply, the cables were vandalized and stolen. Who were the ones that replaced, that bought the cables?
And they don't
replace them.
They're expensive.
This over $1 million. It costs the residents over $1 million. How many are we going to talk about? If people start bringing out letters they've written to disco, stamped and all of that. So NERC must just sit down and look. Even the governors, I will beg the governors, now that the sector has been liberalized, look, like some states have actually asked those discos to go away. Let them send them packing. Let these discos sweat for the money they are getting from customers. Let them sweat for it so that they will know that it's difficult, because Nigerians at their wits' end. Things are very difficult. So for you to now have the temerity to rip people off, discos are part of the problem. You go to filling stations, that's another major problem. When they adjust their meters, even when fuel is over 1,000 naira, people still have the temerity. So what I'm saying, what I'm just talking about, they're intertwined. Because these are public service providers. And they're just and it's like Nigerians cannot talk. But for those of us who can speak up, for the powers that be to hear, Nigerians on the streets are crying. And you have to do something about it. These discos must be made to pay for all infractions. Otherwise, it will not be fair to just say, don't buy meters, don't buy this. But these things, customers are buying these things.
Talking about transformers, I heard of some areas where maybe a philanthropist gave them transformer. And the discourse will say, you must pay for the installation. Yes. Now, for the sake of justice, for uninformed customers that have been migrated to, should there be a refund? Not just give out statements.
You see, let me be practical. Okay. Even if there's possibility of no refund, there must be a way where this money is enjoyed, whether by giving them free energy credit, or some way of paying back this money.
Energy credit, is that possible?
They don't. It's to monetize it and to upgrade the thing. So what we're saying is even data providers do that. It's just to say that, oh, we're not being fair to you. We're going to, your subscription will extend to this date and stuff like that. All these things are possible. But quickly, I just want to jump on what you mentioned, the issue of people changing from band C to band B and band A. You know, I think it's a bit technical. For me, I have heard people, because we are not just speaking for ourselves, but I've heard people who say that at the end of the day, they don't mind being upgraded, that they have discovered that despite the fact that this is quite expensive, it's still much cheaper than buying fuel and doing those stuff, that they don't mind enjoying electricity as long as they are the one controlling it. I can control the number of ACs I use in my house and stuff like that. However, it shouldn't be forced on people. There must be a structure where people choose the band that they want to be. Come up with your price. Let us agree with the consent of the NERC and let people choose the band they want. Because, for example, and I'm being practical now, I have someone close to my family whose house is around a commercial area where they are being put on band A. And this person is not making money from printing and all those stuff. And she has to pay through her nose. In fact, she's running away from electricity now. You know, that's how bad it is. So this thing should be a matter of choice and not necessarily moving people from... And another funny thing about why I'm angry with discourse is that this whole revolution about prepaid meter, it should be to their benefit. Rather than all this estimated billing, and some people will sort out the boys on the road and tell them to reconnect. We have no business with anybody tapping into our electricity again. Give us prepaid meter. Let us. We are consuming what we are paying for what we are consuming. So, but because there is no transparency, somebody still wants to even rip off the owners of this discourse. They are the one behind all these things. They should be happy that every Nigerian has prepaid, especially barracks, especially government institutions who are not paying bills. When it is about prepaid, they will definitely pay for
because once your lights exist,
the energy credit that they buy. Exactly.
Talking about moving from band C to, I
suspect that you're a victim.
No, I'm a band B, so I pray that they don't just move us to band A.
For me, I'm bandless.
I pray about it, that they don't force me to band A. Yes.
I hope you're not the band B.
They say we're on band E, but...
All right, we need to go on this quick break, and when we return, join this hangout. We'll continue with the conversation. Don't go.